I actually I was reading Kelly's game notes. I read your first draft notes there. Kleiner, this just popped in my head. When is the last time you watched a game for a team that you were playing on?
What?
When, like, so Kelly said you have, now I got to go back to it. You got like 147 consecutive games at UMD that you've played now. I want to, Kelly's doing the math in her head right now.
I think it's 143.
143. Okay. 147 is the record, right?
147 is the
something like
yeah,
that.
I believe
Anyways,
so. Yes.
Yeah.
you,
It's a
you've yet
long-winded way
you
of
have-
getting to this point here, Matt.
you haven't missed a game at UMD. So I'm wondering, when is the last time, like going back, I don't know when's the last time you actually watched a game? Like, you were not in the lineup, you missed a game?
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't think I missed many games in high school either, so I'm not sure.
Like, what runs through your head when you hear that you haven't missed a game in 4+ seasons, and going back to high school, you were in? What runs through your head? How do you do that? Like, is it kind of mind-boggling? What's the secret?
I think more than anything, I'm just really thankful that I haven't had to deal with any injuries or anything like some girls have to, or even with last year's COVID protocols, I got lucky enough not to have to miss any games there. But I mean, it's super fun. I'm very thankful for that. I don't
know. Anna, your line and what they're doing right now, and Gabbie, feel free to pipe in here as well. What Giggy has brought to this team and your line, how do you describe it?
I think last year we had some struggles near the beginning of the year finding someone, and so to have Giggy come in and fit in right off the bat is huge. It's been so much fun playing with her, and obviously we've been clicking pretty well, so I think we're both thankful that that's been happening, because we've been putting points up every game, and anything to help the team, honestly, is what we're going for.
Gabbie, for you, what's it like, her ability to get the puck to you guys and create scoring opportunities? What's that like?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun to watch, and it's just honestly amazing to see some of the plays that she makes and some of the passes that she does. And even in practice, like, I feel like we're consistently learning from her and see the stuff that she does. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. I'm going to try it. Like, it's just super fun to get to see like the different plays that she makes, and then how it correlates to games. And it's just a really fun experience. I'm super lucky that she came in with the confidence and the stuff she brings to the ice consistently.
Everyone knows your line's going to have the puck. Like, there's no secrets that what you guys are going to do out there. You're seeing the top, defensive pairings, top forward lines every game. How are you able to, continue doing what you're doing no matter what teams throw at you?
Personally, it's just trusting my line mates and knowing that every single game, it doesn't matter who we're going up against, we focus on ourselves. We don't really think too much about the other team. We just consistently think about what we're going to do and play our game. And I think that's the fun part about it and why we are so successful. It's kind of like a throw what you got at us, and maybe you can stop us, but more so just focused on ourselves than what they do.
Gabbie, you obviously brought in that big award, forward of the month in the conference. What was your reaction to that? I know you guys, you're not, you've scored a lot of goals in your career, but you've been on the point sheet, you've been everywhere, but what was your reaction to finally seeing forward of the month?
Yeah, I was super excited, super honored. I felt like December was with like the break in the middle of December at the end there, and I felt like we played no games in December. So I was like, is there a player of the month for December? Because it was just with that Christmas break, but it's obviously such a big honor when you do receive those awards. So super excited and loved seeing that.
I'm heading into St. Cloud here. You guys have had some good success against the Huskies lately. What do you see different about them this season, and how are you preparing for them?
Yeah, I think looking back at this past weekend, they came out with a win against Penn State. So obviously they're a team that we're not going to take lightly. they've always had really good goaltending. So that's something that we have to focus on, getting pucks to net, but getting good chances, not just any chance at net. I think any WCHA team you play is always going to bring whatever they've got against you, and they're always good. So just coming in prepared this weekend is big, because if we lose, last weekend means nothing to us. So just got to be ready to go.
This kind of goes back to Matt's original question about not missing any games. Have you ever been close to missing a game, and how much of a degree of, just toughness has come into this streak here?
I think there was like one game maybe a couple of years ago where I kind of like hurt my neck / like it was borderline. I'm like, maybe I have a concussion, but then I got treatment and I was like, no, it was just my neck. Like, I'm totally fine. But other than that, I don't know. I haven't had to go through that much, I guess. Like, I think back to like Gabbie's back injury. I'm like, I've had nothing of that sort. So there is some toughness involved, but also some luck.
So you guys know how much we love the goal celebration videos that you guys do. Are there any that we haven't seen yet that you guys are kind of excited that you're like, oh man, I can't wait until this person scores so you guys can see it?
Who had good ones this year? I need to think about that.
I can't remember.
The cat was great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the cat. And Hughie always has those good ones.
Yeah. I like
But she's scored a couple times, so we've already seen those. Honestly, this year I love Gabbie Krause's, but she's also scored. But hers is hilarious. She's like shooting at her glove as it's flying by. I thought that was really funny. Who else has good ones?
I'm trying to think.
This is hard.
I really like Maggie Flaherty's. We've seen her a couple times, but like her starting lineups and stuff. And I just think hers is such a Maggie Flaherty like thing to do. It's hilarious. I love that one.
Yeah, that one's good.
Anna, your cake one, was that one take?
Believe it or not, yeah. I only bought one cake, so I had to get it done in one try.
We good? From them? Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. All right, Coach, you're on here.
Maura, how many Patty Kazmar Award nominees do you think you have on this team right now?
Seriously. I would love to see our players get recognized, because we've had many deserving performances over my time here and previous, and still haven't gotten the elusive award. So I think we're certainly in the conversation.
I mean, Jiggy's probably going to always be in the conversation, having already won it once before, but we talked about like that, showcasing your team last weekend at Harvard out East and your players. Do you think this puts Gabbie also seriously in this conversation as well with what she's been doing?
Absolutely. I think, we play out here in the WCHA, and the schools that get talked about are the Big Ten schools. And we have to constantly do amazing things in order to get attention, it feels like. And so anytime we get an opportunity to play non-conference games, we know we need to put on a good show. We need to come away with wins. It's there's a lot of pressure there. And then to see that line and Gabbie in particular just grab that pressure and run with it and do what they did with it. It's remarkable. Not a lot of athletes can handle that. And, they talked a little bit about their line, but we talk about it all the time. They play against the top teams in the country, or top lines in the country, and everybody keys in on them thinking, hey, we shut them down. We beat UMD. And they tried and they couldn't. And there are a lot of good players on that Harvard roster, a lot of U18 kids, future Olympians and things like that. So credit those guys with handling all of that and, playing great as well.
As a coach, do you go into series when you're studying film and that, and does it cross your mind how you have to handle that? Or is it not a worry because, whatever you're seeing another team is bringing, Gabbie and Kleiner and Jiggy are going to be able to handle it. There's no need to shuffle the lines or spread them out or play any games, is there?
No, not with that group. I don't worry too much about who they're facing. It's more the second and third line matchups that we're thinking about and making sure that we're getting that scoring depth whenever we can, get one of those lines or our D core to pop one in. It certainly helps and takes some pressure off of the first line. So that's what we're focusing more on.
Maura, St. Cloud State, what stands out to you about this squad, and how important is it to start, racking up wins here in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, St. Cloud, while we've beaten them a decent amount, when we go down there, it's hard. We don't always win down there. I think Kleiner mentioned the goaltending. That's one facet of their game, but I think they always have good goal scorers. So they're very opportunistic. If you give them time and space, they can rip pucks and make plays offensively. So you have to respect your opponent. Like they were talking about, any team in this league is used to playing the best of the best in this league. So can't take them lightly, and they can make you pay if you do.
Are there ways you guys try to use that Olympic sheet any different there? Or are you just looking forward to seeing Giggy and Kleiner and Hughes have more space to work maybe?
Well, I think, sometimes coaches make too much of the size. I've coached on Olympic sheets with U18 teams. Schuler is well-versed in Olympic sheets, so we'll defer to her knowledge there. But, one thing we talk about is inside the dots, the game is the same. So the space is the same inside the dots. Outside the dots, that's where you get that additional spacing. So we need to be mindful of that from a defensive standpoint. You want to make sure your D aren't getting caught outside those dots. And offensively, when we have the puck, I think it's fun. There's a lot of space to work with. You have a little more time to get your head up and make plays. So a lot of people like to say that bigger ice favors this more skilled team, but I've seen plenty of times that if you're not working hard enough, it doesn't matter what size the rink is.
Maura, we've seen that top line go against, the other top scoring line in the country with Wisconsin, and just to see Gabbie, come out of that field this month and win that award over some, the Badgers and some of the other best teams in the country. How special of a player has she been? I know we've talked about her a lot, but how special has she been?
Yeah, she's worthy of it. Super consistent for us. We were talking about her freshman year when she led our team in scoring and how she came onto the scene. And I got a lot of questions. Did you expect her to be this good right away? And, it's hard to say, but she has been one of the most consistent players we've ever had. Like I said, thrives under pressure and is still developing her game. She's still getting better as a player, as a leader. And that's what's fun to see. And so she's playing some great hockey right now. And I know she's having a lot of fun with it and playing confidently. I think the other remarkable thing about our top line and our team in general is if you look at our strength of schedule, Kelly might be able to tell us where we're ranked versus maybe like a Wisconsin. We're number one. We have the number one hardest schedule in the country, and those guys are putting up the numbers they're putting up. So we haven't played a team that, you're going to necessarily run away with games against. So I think that detail, if I'm in the media, that's something I'm highlighting.
To be on the road back to back like this, is that tough on you guys? Is it you're already in the groove of being on the road? What's the mentality going back away from Amsoil?
Yeah. Some of us didn't get back till Monday from the Harvard road trip due to some flight issues. But, the nice thing is we're not in school right now. So that's a big bonus where, they're not going to classes and trying to do that as well. So it works out kind of nicely. It's, all part of the gig is getting on the road. So they're used to it. I don't mind it. And I'm sure, some of them haven't. We didn't go to St. Cloud last year. So our freshman and sophomore classes have never played there. So it's exciting for them. And as you get older in the program, it's always exciting to go on the road with your teammates too. So.
Maura, you've talked about how, the rankings are what they are. You don't control them. You don't do that. But you guys just came up with 2 huge road wins against a really good team. And it feels like the rankings don't change every single week. Is that just a parity throughout the game thing? I mean, away from the rankings at all, is it just speak to, I guess, women's college hockey right now? There's just a lot of talent out there and a lot of really good teams, and there's not going to be a lot of movement, you think?
I think the next month will be really important. I think we have the #1 strength of schedule, which I just highlighted. So that helps us. The other thing that the pairwise and the rankings really rely on is your win percentage. So the more wins we get, the higher we will jump in the mathematical breakdown of things. Now, I don't necessarily agree that win percentage should hold that much weight when you're playing a really tough schedule, but that's the way it is right now. So that is really a determining factor on how you move up. So this weekend, if we grab 2 wins, it will help tremendously because we go to 13-7 and that average goes up. So it's a little frustrating at times because I know we're playing really, really good teams and we're putting together good games. But ultimately you got to win.
Maura, how much do you see that top line kind of inspiring the other lines on the team? Obviously, you guys have other players. Is anyone else kind of extra motivated to kind of be like, hey, you know what? There might be a night where, they're not, the goals are not going in for one reason or another. We need to step up our game. Do you kind of see that competition during practice?
For sure. I think, that's what I love about the way we play is they're not hot dogging it out there. They work really hard, which is something that, that's a huge value in our program is you're going to work hard no matter how many points you're putting up. You're back checking, you're playing in the D zone. We take pride in all 3 zones. So with them setting that tone, I think that helps our team tremendously. And I would say, certainly Clara Van Wieren is taking big steps this year. She's playing center for us now, has done that for the past 4 games with Kylie on the back end, and she's been helping a ton. And I know for sure I've heard Rogie say that very thing in games, like let's get some goals. Let's, help our first line out too. Like we want to be involved. So everybody wants to be involved, but I'll tell you, when that first line scores some of the goals that they score, the reaction on the bench is similar to the reaction in the stands. Like, oh my God, did you see that? So it's fun, and everybody wants to help the team in whatever way they can. That's an expectation too.
Good. Great. Thank you guys for hopping on. Have a good practice, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Maura and Kelly, just a quick heads up. Clint, Austin, and I will be at both games in St. Cloud this weekend.
Awesome.
Okay, that's
So-
great.
We'll see you there.
See ya.
Bye.